Phoenix, baby! All the good Christians will be bussed in about an hour.
For the record, could you state your name and your title?
Leonard Clark, Arizona activist.
And in the military, you were in the National Guard?
Right, National Guard, Iraq veteran.
So how do you, Lenny, what are your feelings about reinvestigating 9/11?
Well, I think at a minimum the 9/11 Commission should be reopened. I've not ever tried to be a hypocrite, pretend I'm on one side or the other. I'm where I think the Commission should be reopened. There's been so much evidence, and I'll have to go back and look at the specific evidence. Things they left out purposely, you know. I'm not saying yet that I think that there was an airliner of all these other people that never died, but I'm saying that it's awful weird that the air defenses of NORAD were taken down. At a minimum, they should. What are they afraid of? Why don't they reopen it? So nothing they do surprises me anymore.
No.
Nothing. I do not believe in either political party. I think what's happened now is they have been thoroughly corrupted. Do I think the Republican Party is probably perhaps more corrupted? Yeah, but that's, hey buddy, let's hug, man.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I was just, those bankers got, I'm sorry,
yeah,
bankers got to me.
I understand.
That's cool, it's cool.
All of us.
It's cool, but
they are kind of scum of the earth, so.
Oh, I don't know. We were walking on the sidewalk, and they just decided to gun their engines.
Yeah.
But so you asked me, okay, about the 9/11 Commission.
Yeah, are you familiar with the organization Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth?
Yes, I've heard about them, and you know what? There's some they've shown some really, very factual stuff. So that's what I'm saying at a minimum. But then you look at who owned the bank or the building 7,
Larry Silverstein.
how they were connected to the Bush family. A lot of these people are still in power. Jesse Ventura's 60 documents that the government doesn't want you to read. That sounds like one of those, we got to be louder on the engine. See, I want to steal that. I'm jealous of that.
So, Lenny, would you talk a little bit about your Iraq War history and that you were a veteran and you were the first veteran to...
Yeah, well, I went in first the Persian Gulf, 90 to 91, and then the second time I was with the National Guard again, but in a military police unit in 2005, 2006. We trained in Fort Polk, Louisiana, right before Katrina hit. But at the time, we had a quick chance to go for 2-3 days to New Orleans. I couldn't, my dad was dying. And then we went over to Iraq, first Kuwait, then Iraq, and there we didn't have the right equipment. When my first friend died, and the second friend died within 400 yards of the same spot. It's only by the grace of God that I'm here. We begged them for equipment that the United States Army was getting. One type of device was called a Rhino that you put out in front of the Humvee. So they have these very dangerous platter charges called EFPs. And so they can explode them remotely, and they can be set off by heat or motion. And they're so powerful they go through the armor. Well, the Army wouldn't give us these things, and they kept making us drive. So I was blogging about that, and then they tried to come after me because a lady in Tucson who was very nice had a prayer group, which I said my brothers survived today. Well, they're like, oh, the families didn't know you got attacked. So that's how they tried to get me. There was, and I was saying, no, that's a bunch of BS. We shouldn't even be in Iraq. If they were serious, they had, at any time in the military, they could have charged me. Anytime.
No, sure.
They never did. And this is the same. Now, I'm not saying all the people. I have a lot of good brothers and sisters in the military. But General McChrystal, he covered up Pat Tillman's death. And I had a chance to meet his mom and his brother at the radio station 3 or 4 years ago, and she sent us a book. And it was just really eerie because his brother just had these eyes like you wouldn't believe, just like eagle eyes. It was just the strangest thing. But so I got busted for that, but I got my honorable discharge. I stayed because I knew they'd like to say, oh yeah, this guy is a coward, he's trying to get out of it. And I came back. I got arrested last Saturday simply because we were peacefully suffering our First Amendment rights. But it was a great experience. We got to interact, the young people. The prisoners like, why are you guys here? Protesting. It was so, it's not a nice place to be, but how many movements have been formed and strengthened by being thrown behind bars. I was watching grandmas and grandpas, a 70-year-old, a 6-year-old lady walking around with handcuffs, Alfredo Gutierrez. And by the way, Alfredo Gutierrez was the only public person, very well known, that was willing to get arrested with us. I watched him he sat next to me as we were booked. Not any of these Democrats, not any of these Republicans, not any of these elected officials have come out here and gone with us. Alfredo did, and I'll always remember that. I'll knock on as many doors as that man wants. I mean, I was amazed. Here's a man who marched with Cesar Chavez. And here he is, this older fella, and he's sitting right next to me getting booked.
Yeah, I actually knew, my aunt. She told me all about this, and I started to do research about that.
You started to learn. What did you learn?
The government is trying to ruin us, and we need to get started and go into the next level, and we need to get moving on. And we need to get a group so we can stop it.
Thank you for standing up for the people. Thank you.
My check! My check! My check! My check! Okay.
Stop.